Hello everyone, welcome to Farming Simulator 25. Today we have our complete guide and tutorial with everything you need to know about growing spinach. We'll be checking on it literally every month out of the year for every one of its growth stages, everything you need to know about harvesting it, as spinach is a crop that you harvest twice. Tips that you may take to increase your yield, because spinach does have a couple extra special things you have to do if you really want to do it perfect. So here we are today with our ultimate spinach guide. First thing I'll do is I'll put up a little cheat sheet on the screen that I made that you will follow month by month. So if you want the cheat sheet of what to do every month, here you go. We'll have this again at the end of the video, but I want to go through and show you and explain every month everything you need to do. So for starters, here's the equipment that we're going to be using. Simply fertilizer, just a regular old seeder, and the harvester. Now the harvester that spinach takes is special, and you'll have to purchase that from the store. It only harvests spinach, and it's not cheap. You can find it right here under vegetables, spinach harvester, and as of right now, there are no mods. The game is brand new, so as of right now, this is all there is. Now, spinach is a very high yield crop. This field right here that we're going to plant today will yield us a little over 16,000 liters of spinach per harvest, and you can harvest it twice a year. So that sells pretty good. Yeah, we're going to make pretty good money just off this small little field here this year. So we're going to go month by month. We're going to show every single growth stage. We're going to show harvesting it both times, and also I want to save as much time as I can, but there might be some other cool tips in there as well. At the end, we'll summarize. All right, guys, thanks so much, and I hope this guide helps you out. And any questions you have, of course, feel free to leave down in the comments below. Let's get started. Now, this field has been freshly limed, so I didn't show it here, but you want to make sure to lime your field for spinach every year, because you harvest spinach twice in a year, which means if you don't lime it one year, it will need lime halfway through that year, and you can't lime a crop that's already growing. So always remember to lime your spinach field every year. It's the first thing to do on the checklist that I have on the screen as well. All right, so to start off with, we are on the Asian map, Hutan Pantai, and we are using this field right here. We got us this planter right here. We're going to plant it. Now, this does already have a stage of fertilization on it, so obviously this field has, I have gone over it, it does have lime on it. It has one stage of fertilization, so this is a basic starting field, right? Cultivated. So we've got, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plant the spinach. We've got fertilizer here to lay in the second stage of fertilization after we plant it. And yeah, if there's anything you don't know about planting or fertilizing, we can cover that in a different video. Here, of course, we have the spinach harvester. Now, one thing about harvesting spinach, it does require its own harvester. So first, let's move all this equipment off the field and get to planting. Okay, so the first thing, before we plant the spinach, let's talk about the time of year and stuff that you plant it. Here's the crop calendar here on the starting map, Hutan Pantai. This is the crop calendar. Now, you can see that we're in March right now, and you can plant it in March, April, and May. You can plant it within these 3 months, and harvest is literally 12 months out of the year. I'm going to show you throughout the year how it's going to go every month. I'll show you every stage of it, so don't worry about that. What we're going to do, but I'll tell you up front, we're going to plant it in March. We are then going to harvest it in June, and then we're going to harvest it in September, and then you'll see what happens after that. After the harvest in September, it will then wither, we'll clear the field, and reset for next year. That's how we're going to do it. I'll tell you now, and we'll check in every month how it's going. So here we are in March. Let's go ahead and get in our tractor, and we're going to get this planted. Now, we're just using just a standard seeder. Any seeder will work, of course, so long as it has the spinach icon like this right here. Here is the seeder we're using. You can see it has the spinach icon by the things that it can plant, which, of course, should be any seeder. And, of course, make sure your seeder is set on spinach. As said, everything is set to go, so we're going to get this unfolded, and we're going to plant spinach on the whole field. Okay, so we are done planting the spinach here in March. The field already has a state of fertilizer on it. I could run the second stage of fertilizer now, but I'm going to wait till next month. So for now, we're done for the month. I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and we will see, we'll be back here in April. All right, good morning to everyone. It is April morning, the morning of April, and it is it raining? Is it just starting to sprinkle? It looks like it. All right, so let's have a look at, let's get a close look at our spinach. Our spinach is growing here. So here's our spinach growing, and yeah, it be raining. All right, that's fine. So fertilize 50%, yield bonus. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's go ahead and where's our getting our Kubota, and we're going to lay down a second stage of fertilizer. Oh, let's have a look at this on the map. All right, so here we can see that it's got one stage of fertilizer on it. Yeah, we can see it's in this stage, first stage of growth, and one stage of fertilizer. So let's get in out of the rain in our tractor here, and let's get this fertilized. Now this tractor has narrow tires on it because I was using it to fertilize other crops, but this being the first month of growth, you don't need the narrow tires. Just as a side note, I'm only running them because this tractor already had them on there. And this will be pretty easy. We're just going to do a quick just horseshoe shape across this field. It's quite beautiful out here. I love this map. That's why I chose this. This field has a great view too. It's a great field to show things off like this on it. All right, so let's just go ahead and check the map here. But that should be, yep, there we have. You can see a solid 2 states of fertilizer. So let's go ahead and park this, and we are done with our spinach for the month of April. Turn that off. Yeah, we're done with our spinach for the month of April. We'll check back here in May and see how it's doing. All right, it is May. It is the morning on May. It's not actually. It's still just raining, I think, because I literally just advanced the time. The rain should go away. Anyway, though, so here is our crop in May. We'll have a look at it on the map in a second, but this is what your spinach is going to look like if you plant it in April. Plant it in March, and then April, May. So this is the second stage of growth. After you plant it, it's growth, and you can see this should be its last growth stage. So there's nothing we have to do with our spinach this month. May, if you plant it in March, then you can take May off on your spinach because it's fully fertilized and it's fully grown. We're going to be harvesting it next month. All right, here we are in June. Happy summer, everyone. It is now June, and our spinach, as you can see, is ready to harvest. So this is what your spinach is going to look like when it's ready to harvest. Let's have a look at it on the map. Clearly ready to harvest. Fully fertilized, ready to harvest. Now, I don't have the perfect yield bonus on this. We're not worried about that. I did notice that. We don't have the perfect yield bonus. This is not a min-maxing video. I'm just showing you guys how to handle our spinach. So don't worry about if everything's not perfect. The spinach is fine. Right. So now the thing with spinach is a fresh crop. There is no, as far as I know, there's no storage for it. You're going to have to sell it or run it into production right after harvest. We'll be transporting it to sale or to harvest. It won't go in our silo. Right, so let's get in our really expensive spinach harvester because, it's now June, ready to harvest. So this machine's pretty easy to work. Once you've dropped $600,000+ on it, it's now it's got a good capacity. The spinach is going to fill it up fast. Spinach is a high yield crop. This field right here is just about, just this small field here will almost fill that tipper. See that Rudolph tipper over there? This small field here will almost fill that tipper. So again, I'm not going to use any AI helpers. I'm going to harvest this myself. I'll do it as cleanly as I can. And in fact, I might turn on steering assist. It's on. Might turn on steering assist to make it easier, but I'll be driving the harvester myself. And if you're curious about how to work steering assist, I have a video guide on that, and I'll have a link for that right here for you. All right, now we're just about done harvesting the spinach here. Just a little bit left. And the way this machine drives, it's easy to drive over some of your crop when you're turning. When you turn, the rear tracks, if you're not really smooth with the turning, the rear tracks will come around and crush some of your crop. And we're going to see that on the field. And because this is a crop which we will harvest again, some of the crop that we harvested here, or the crushed here, is going to come into play. And it's just going to probably affect our yield like ever so slightly because there's just going to be bits. We'll check the map here in a moment. And you'll see there's bits here and there where, say for instance right here, I would turn at the end of this row. See right there? It's just the corner of that track. It just crushed it ever so slightly. And that's just part of this. And that's why I insisted on driving this on my own so that you would see that. I think if the AI worker did this, they don't crush crops, I don't think, when they drive over them. And I wanted you to see what it would look like when you harvest it. It's just something ever so slight. All right, so that is our entire spinach crop harvested. And from this little field here, you can see we have 16,589 liters of spinach. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and... Whoops, sorry. You hit the same button. I hit the wrong button. You want to hit the same button as you would to put an auger out for your combine. Let's go ahead and let's get our tipper under that. We're going to be taking this to the cannery. Sell it to any place that would sell fresh vegetables. Oopsie there. You can sell it to any place that sells fresh vegetables, or also, of course, any kind of cannery or preserved food plant or whatever it's called on the map that you're on. Here on Hutan Pantai, it's called the cannery. I believe on Sri Lanka, it's called the preserved food plant or something different, but it's the same thing. And that's where we're going to be taking our spinach. So just pull up under here and we'll discharge into our tipper. It should take this to about 80% full, I think, if last harvest was any indication. Going to fill it up pretty fast to 89% full. Yeah, that's a lot of yield. That's a lot of yield from this field here. Let's go ahead and let's close this back down. So we'll just, same button to put the auger in on a combine. And then let's go ahead and fold this up. And let's go park this. Been keeping this parked just for the time being because there's kind of low on space here at the farm. We'll just park this over here by our silo. Like I said, our silo won't take spinach. Spinach is a fresh crop, so we need to do something with it right now. Let's shut this down, and we're going to be running our spinach down to the cannery, so I'll meet up with you down there. All right, here we are at the cannery on the Asian map, Hutan Pantai, and let's see how this sells for. So that small little field, which is about, 16.6 thousand liters here. The price of spinach doesn't really fluctuate throughout the year, not very much at all, because it's a fresh crop, I guess, because you're meant to sell it whenever you harvest it. The price is pretty constant throughout the year. Let's see how much we get. So for that right there, we got $11,352 for that one harvest. Of course, we're going to get a second harvest of that. If we scroll down here to spinach, don't you love how in Farming Simulator 25, this is alphabetic now? Wow, that is a godsend. Right here, spinach, and you'll see that it doesn't fluctuate hardly like any at all. $621, $690 is the biggest. Yeah, it's the fluctuation. So selling it any time of year is going to be fine. All right, so let's get back to the farm and see what our next step is. All right, here we are back at the farm. So we are done with this crop for now. It's June, and you can see harvested. Let's check it out on the map. So it's showing the harvested status. Okay, now that we have harvested and sold the crop, you can see that there's no fertilization on the field whatsoever. And you can see some of this is what I was talking about, some of the places where the harvester has destroyed the crop. That's just going to be a thing because we've harvested it and it's already growing back. And so we're in the tractor to fertilize it right now. We're just going to put down fertilizer, so it'll have one stage of fertilizer now, because when we harvested it, of course, it wiped away all fertilization stages. So we're going to put down one stage of fertilization this month. All right, and with the fertilizer down, we will check the map and verify yes. So in June, all we have to do is simply harvest, sell, refertilize. We now have one fertilizer state, and we are going to move into July. All right, here we are in July. We are essentially back in the first growth stage. We technically literally are in the first growth stage because, yes, this is a crop that we harvest twice, as we've seen. We are in the first growth stage, so July is exactly the same as April. Let's have a look at it here. We're going to want to run, let's go ahead, since it's been a month since we fertilized last in June, right? Let's go ahead and run that second stage of fertilizer on it now. Now, I want to go ahead and show you that we are indeed in the first stage of growth. I was going to fertilize it with the tractor we already had hooked up. But just to clarify, no, we don't need narrow tires, even though it's been growing. We've harvested, it's growing again. I went ahead and I swapped over to the tractor with the wide tires. This is just to be clear that this is indeed the first stage of growth. We'll just do it with the thick tired tractor just because, now we clearly see that this is effectively, actually, literally the same as the first stage of growth that we had in April. So let's get this fertilized here. And you can see where I slightly crushed the crop here and there, harvesting it. Those bits don't grow back. That's okay. The second harvest of spinach will just be half of 1% less, right? Here you can see we have a full second stage of fertilization. we are good to go ahead, and there's nothing more to do with the crop in July. All right, here we are in August. In August, much like the month of May, is it's our month off. There should be nothing to do whatsoever. It's in its second stage of growth, still growing. Check the map. We're fertilized. You can see the dark green. It's in the last stage of growth. August, we have literally nothing to do, so let's advance the time till September. All right, here we are in September, and it should be ready to harvest. Indeed, it is ready to harvest. Exactly the same as the month of June. Let's check on the map. Ready to harvest. Everything's fine here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this harvested, but there is still more to come in the month of October, just a little bit while we finish it up. All right, so with our spinach harvested the second time in the month of September, our work is done. Well, our work is done, but we do want to check on it one last time in October so I can show you the end state of it, and we'll summarize. I'll be right back with you in October. All right, everyone, and here we are in October, and we have us a field of, go in first person here, of withered spinach. And don't worry, this is supposed to happen. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's that after you harvest it and it regrows, then you harvest it and it doesn't have enough plant juice or whatever to regrow. So instead it just withers. This is supposed to happen. So yeah, so this is what it'll be in October. In October it'll be withered. And this is when you're going to come over it with a cultivator, disc harrow, whatever your pleasure, right? Redo the field for next year. So we'll pull that cheat sheet up that I made. So the first thing you're going to want to do every year, you want to lime your spinach field to get full yield out of your crop. You want to make sure you have, well, probably a good idea to have one stage of fertilization before you plant it. Plant it in March, put down a second stage of fertilization, either that month or the next month in April. May, you got nothing to do, take the month off. June, you harvest, sell, rejoice, fertilize. July, fertilize. August, got a month off, do whatever you want to do. September, harvest, profit again. October, your crop is withered, so we till it under and we start fresh for the next year. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope this video guide was helpful and answered any questions you may have about the spinach crop. I look forward to bringing more guides like this to you, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Anything you may or may not, anything you want to see, etc. like that. I appreciate anything you have to say. And of course, your subscription if you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot. I will see you guys next time.